Hi Scorpios, how are you? So this is going to be a February reading, and I'm going to start with telling you a little bit about the retrograde we're going to have in the month of February. It's Mercury going retrograde from February 16th through March 9th, and it's going to happen in your 5th house for Scorpio rising. Now, the 5th house is the house of romance, of flirtation, encounters, of joy, of laughter, creativity, but also children. So for you Scorpios, this retrograde will kind of bring up some stuff regarding your children, having children, not having children, how you relate to children, your inner child. And kind of how, like, do you let them out? Do you let that inner child play, or do you repress it and suppress it? And hence not allowing you to be creative in the way that you want to be creative. For some of you too, this might bring some really, like, some old flings from the past that you were very, very attracted to. And either you're going to reach out to them or they'll reach out to you. So kind of be on the lookout for that. But also know that Mercury's in the sign of Pisces is a very dreamy sign, a very emotional and sensitive sign. So what that tells me is that this Mercury retrograde is going to be extremely sensitive in terms of how people perceive words and communication. So your words this month really hold a lot of power, Scorpios, and know that. So if you say something and you not follow through with it, oof boy, it's not going to be taken really well, especially when Moon is squaring Mercury. And that's going to happen a little bit like later on in the month, but that's when the tension really spike. So really mind your words this month, you know, like really don't be ruthless. I know you can be. I know you're the one or a sign that really can, man, really say something out of the blue, but they can really cut to the core. So really be mindful that this month everybody's going to be, like, sensitivity is going to be heightened. So if you don't want to damage any relationship, kind of maybe don't say things that you know will damage and will cut to the core, okay? So that said, I'm going to get into your reading, you know. So let me do one last shuffle. Okay. So, Scorpios, let's see what you got. So for the first part of the month, you have the moon, which is not surprising because we have the shadow period of the Mercury retrograde happening February 2nd. Ace of Wands. I like seeing that, but I don't like seeing the 10 of Cups reversed, followed by the 5 of Cups. So I wonder if you will be, Scorpios, if you will be rushing into a relationship that initially you thought, oh my God, it's the best thing ever, but then you're like, did I maybe should have given another shot, or should I have just, like, looked at it in a different way before really committing and really jumping into it? Yeah, because, like, you have the moon, and the moon here is really, it's about kind of like being in your feelings. It could also be a Cancer or like any, like a water sign, but specifically Cancer. So, but it also, it sheds shadow. It's cast shadow on things that we want light on, that we want to see, that we want to acknowledge. So really, I think for you in the first part of the month, this is really going to be about moving forward with a relationship, with a commitment that you not just that you're really intensely attracted to and then really have that sexual chemistry with, but also there's more substance to it, because there is a really high chance that you might regret going into it. And not necessarily that it's going to be bad or not, it's just you might not really, because you have the moon starting the month, you're already going into a little bit of a confusion. And add that to any relationship, you really tend to have rose-colored glasses with the new person, just because the chemistry is so intense. So for you Scorpios, and if for you it's like such a natural thing, intensity and sexual chemistry, that it's really easy sometimes to like really go with that versus really pay attention. Is there more substance? Is there more to that than just, the chemistry? Or is that really the only thing I want? Now that's a good thing to ask yourself. Well, if that's the only thing you want, great. Maybe move ahead and then really be okay with that being that. But if you really want more than just sexual chemistry, right? If you really want family, if you really want like a home life and really like build a community around this, don't rush in just yet, because there will be an opportunity. Oh my god, you're really going to meet somebody that you're going to be really sexually attracted to. It's like, oof, that energy is there. But how do they align with you, with your community, with your family, right? Because we also have like that happening, happening in your 5th house, really, the house of romance and the house of children. Like, can they be, if you really see them, can you really see them as a long-term partner? Can they be a good mother or father for your future children, right? Really, it's some good questions to ask yourself, because like I said, sexual chemistry will be there and really, really strong. And now moving into the second part of the month, I feel like there's going to be a little bit of a disappointment here in some regards, but it's also to do with kind of like, again, you not doing the work here, like you not doing the work, like not really taking off the rose-colored glasses, and it's kind of like, oh, if it's not working out, oh my god, it was me, when it's really the 5 of it's like the card of regret to me, but it's also a card of really not seeing things for what they are and really not seeing what you actually have. You might have a really stable option and really stable life and situation, but you like kind of like chasing dreams and chasing like false and empty things just because maybe they just look good and you just like really physically attracted. Like there's like this chemistry pull that you have towards those things, but maybe they lack substance. But you do have other things in your life that have a lot of substance, and maybe that's where you want to pay attention to and focus on. Because maybe the other thing too that can be here is that instead of focusing on your romantic life this month, even though you have the Mercury retrograde in the 5th house of romance and flirts and like really flings, focus on something like maybe something that starts as a fling, building it into something that's more worthwhile and like sustaining, building a little bit of a foundation first. So maybe like not rush into consuming the relationship, but maybe just kind of take it slower a little bit this month and really see if it has potential. So then you won't have this feeling of regret or like feeling that you haven't done enough, or maybe not you haven't done as much as you wanted to do, right? And then we end the month with the Magician in reversed, with clarified by the 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands to me, it's almost feeling defensive. When it's in reverse, it's like kind of letting go of your guard, but it also has to do with other people. The Magician too here is also, when he's in reverse, he's like, some people say the trickster card. Like he's so good at presenting himself and so good at like putting up a character and a persona to get what they want. But this is where I think those rose-colored glasses are really important to take off, because you don't want to get into a situation that is not worthwhile for you while you're letting your guard down, while you're being vulnerable, And I think really a lot for me, this stems from the fact that you really so desire a family and so desire something committed and something long term, that you just like willing to take whatever comes first, without really assessing, is this have something concrete to offer, and then or the same thing goes for you doing that for others. So be mindful of that. Be really mindful of people just presenting themselves to be something that they're really not, and you falling for that. Or maybe, again, and this is when it comes to communication, because Mercury is all about communication. It's that presentation, that expression. of one's feelings through words. So maybe it's just like you are so drawn to what people say that they can offer you, and but you're really not putting that to the test, so to speak. You know, you just like take them for their word. So yeah, be mindful of that. But let me see what the oracle has to say for you for the month of February, Scorpios. But I do sense that, you know, not to repeat myself, but sexual chemistry is there, and then you will have opportunities to maybe, you know, have a few sexual partners. But this is where you really have to know, is that the only thing you want? If you want more, then take it slow. Don't rush. Don't rush. Okay, so the oracle. What does the oracle say for you? Serendipity. This card to me is really a card about synchronicities and really paying attention to the signs, paying attention to things aligning just the right way. And it's funny because like I'm like drawn to this card, right? It's like everything just sometimes we want something so badly that we make something out of nothing, right? Like with the Magician too, like you almost like make things or see things there that are not there. So with the serendipity here, it's like really pay attention to the signs, pay attention to the synchronicities, and really pay attention to the feeling of like, oh, wow, well, that was a coincidence, but was it a coincidence, right? So when things like that happen, I think you really want to pay attention to it and see what that brings up for you and what that comes up for you, because I feel like with that Ace of Wands there, I think there will be a lot of like sparks during and all throughout the month that are like, ooh, I wonder what that was all about. Oh, this is such a like unusual way, or like this is just like so unexpected. But I feel like this is where certain things align in your life for those moments to happen, just because they ask you to pay attention to it, or there's some sort of a message there for you. Okay, so Scorpios, I'm gonna leave you at that, and I hope you have a really great month, and take those rose-colored glasses off for a bit. Yeah. Okay, bye.